Alright. Hello everyone. Welcome back. Sorry for being a bit late. We're here now. Hopefully the music should be on already. Let me know if you can hear it. Maybe it could be a little bit lower. I don't have the I'm very not prepared right now. Okay, that all looks good. I have splits open, but I actually don't want to use them. Or I don't want to look at them. Because I've noticed that splits usually just kind of stress me out more. Seeing, you know, what pace you're on, like, oh wow, I'm saving so much time. I need to not mess up, and then that kind of makes me mess up more. Or, wow, I'm lost a lot of time. This is a horrible run, and you just kind of feel bad about it. I'm not going to use the split. I'm still going to press the split button, and hopefully they don't desync. As in, I press the button at the right time, because I don't have an auto splitter. Just kidding, we're not going to get right into it, because the stream has to die again. I really don't know why it does this. It's not 0. I think you should be able to still see. I don't think it's completely buffering. I think it's just lagging right now. Yes, I'm recording now, so I guess that's a nice reminder. But if it's already dropped about 2,000 frames, so that's not great. I guess I just have to sit here and wait. It's still going. It's still doing it. Should I just start anyway? If you can at least see the game a bit. Oh, it's recovering a little bit. Okay, well, I guess you can expect the stream to be laggy. So, that's fine. The recording shouldn't be affected, though. I'm throwing. Forgot that I don't need to eat the fruit immediately. Actually, I think the music might be a bit quiet now. May have overcorrected. So I've noticed I've kind of been attempting to practice the game a bit more off screen, but it is difficult for me to focus. I don't know, I struggle to finish a full run in practice without getting distracted by like 10 things. So I think I might want to do some more streams. Kind of like when I was running Artificer. Let me know if the splits are correct, by the way. I'm not looking at them now. But you know, I might do some more streams in the near future just to focus a bit more on the speedruns that I want to get done faster. gosh, why can I never do that extended slide? I mean, I'm not expecting this run to be too good, so... I guess some mistakes are fine. This is the kind of practice run, but there's creatures too. Splits are not running. That's great news. Whatever. Do I need to have the splits open for them to track my inputs? I guess I could have them. Well, actually, I can't, because the splits always take priority at the top of the screen. You can't really cover them with another tab, another window. Sometimes I kind of feel like I don't really want to have the splits anyway. Close. Like they just kind of are more distracting, really. If you're ahead of your time by a lot, then you feel stressed out because you need to like not mess up. You know, there's more pressure. But if you're behind by a lot, then you feel like you're wasting your time on a bad run. Oh, it's lagging again. That's fun. This is going great. Everything's going perfectly. Not knowing what splits are. They're the... Whoa. I almost totally missed that grapple, but it still worked somehow. Oh my gosh. Can you work? You should see the splits on the bottom right of the screen. They basically just keep track of the times of like when you get to places. Yeah, pretty much that. So you can see like how much you're improving or comparing to like old runs. Like that strategy is not really working that well. Some people take splits very seriously, where they have like a bunch of like things that they keep track of, comparing against multiple runs at the same time. Like a bunch of data about the runs, and it's like, I don't know, is that necessary? Does it actually help your run? I don't think so. I mean, the only case I can see splits actually being practical is if you see that you're behind in a run and you decide to go for riskier strats to make up for it. Like, oh, I'm behind by 10 seconds, I might as well go for this risky strat. That could save these 10 seconds, but it's also likely to end the run. The kind of strat that you would only go for if you're behind. So it might be nice to like know. Oh, I pressed up too early, so it canceled the gate. Oh, it's lagging again. I guess it's just doing that now. You know, I've actually lowered the bitrate since like I've lowered the bitrate recently, so it should be lagging less, honestly. But I think I have no idea how OBS actually works, so there's no way for me to actually fix it. It could also be my internet being awful again, which it tends to be. I have no idea how to tell if it's an OBS problem or an internet problem. Hello. Oh, where'd he go? Are you in the wall? The vulture's still here. I always go into that tunnel backwards. Oh, thank you, Centipede. Somehow they got in first. I've set it to 10 FPS. It shouldn't look like that. Yeah. It should be at 24 FPS. I guess, okay, if anyone wants to know, the FPS is 24. And the bitrate is 2,800. Which I think is actually pretty low. Yeah, I mean, it's telling me the frame rate is awful too. That I've dropped about 4,000 frames at this point. But it hasn't said that the bitrate is 0. Usually when the bitrate is 0, that means that it's buffering, it's not working at all. You're gonna snipe me. Well, he doesn't need to snipe me if I just stand right in front of his face for a solid second. Like the music might be quiet now. Okay, that was decent, maybe. I don't know. Kind of a nice thing about Sync is that you're usually going to make progress. Like here we are, at the end of Farm Raise. It's not too hard to get here. The only things that can really kill you are falling off in Sky Islands and like a White Lizard or Karma Lizard. We're trying to get the Yeek. And there's also a chance of dying to the Wormgrass, but I feel like I've gotten consistent at that, so that doesn't really happen anymore. Hello, Echo. And then what can happen? Okay, I guess the most dangerous part now is the spiders, right? Those have been a problem. Hello, both of you who joined at the same time. Welcome to the stream. Apologies in advance for any excessive amounts of lag this stream. Okay, non-functional Yeek. It was lagging a lot at the start of the stream, and it will probably do it more. Sometimes I wonder if you could ever do that consistently, where you grapple onto the floor and then kind of like swing around it in reverse, like an upside down swing. But like grappling onto the ground is really difficult. It just kind of happens randomly sometimes. That was a long tunnel boost for some reason. Okay. Okay, there's a spitter spider down there. Started Celeste again. That spitter spider's down there, but I can actually sneak past it. And then wait for these spiders to move. That one already did. Alright, dude. Waiting on you. Nice. That was actually pretty good. Nine and 18 in 2 days. Is that farewell and core T-side? Missions were correct. That's kind of ominous. Oh. Okay, I think the centipede might be close. Oh my gosh. It almost moved forward just enough to be able to grab me. Yeah, the Yeeks are different in Saints campaign. Because they've moved into this... Oh, that's cool. If I go into the next room, they'll become pacified. I mean, I don't know how being blue helped them at all to adapt to the cold. Or maybe like the blue ones, there was already a population of blue geeks that were more like cold resistant, and they were the ones that spread into this area, or the ones that survived into this time. So that's just pretty cool. Camouflage maybe? With what? You'd expect them to just be like completely whites then? Yeah, Celeste is cool. But I don't think I have a reason to stream it. Other than just like playing through the campaign, which would be kind of boring because it's too easy at this point. I could try to like speedrun it, but I'm also not very good at speedrunning. Like, I'm kind of in a weird in-between. I'm not good enough to do a speedrun, and I'm not bad enough to just have a normal playthrough. Although I guess, you know, maybe that's not a big problem. Like, part of the game, like a really important part about Celeste is being bad at it and struggling. That kind of like is the whole point of the game, is that it is difficult. But I guess, you know, do you actually enjoy watching someone fail to beat a game? Does that make it better? Maybe it makes the experience better of like, oh, I have overcome a difficult challenge and I finally beat this difficult game. But if you're watching someone play it, you'd rather than just like get through it already. Why are you dying so many times on the screen? It's so easy. Because everything always looks easier when you're watching someone else do it. Speedrunner golden strawberries. Oh yeah, let's go for the golden strawberries. That sounds fun. Maybe it would be kind of interesting to try to learn how to speedrun it. Because I've done a speedrun before. But it was very unoptimized. I basically learned like a beginner's route, and I did it like a few times, and that was pretty much it. It means there's room to grow. You know, I played a single Celeste mod, and I didn't really enjoy it. Specifically, Strawberry Jam. Is that a hot take? Some levels, I guess you'd call them levels. Some were pretty good, and some of them were really annoying. So annoying that they kind of demotivated me. Is that even the right word to use? I lost interest after playing like a handful of really bad levels. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that. Is that a big enough time loss? That's really annoying, but like, it's only like 5 seconds, 10 seconds maybe. I have died here before. See, now the Molars are only now just coming out. I guess it's because of the Helter opening. Well, it should have been shorts from the beginning, right? I don't know. Yeah, maybe it'd be kind of interesting to try to like speedrun a game that isn't Rain World, especially since I'm like not good at it already. I mean, I was never already good at Rain World speedruns. I had to always practice them. Okay. Oh, they're not even in the way. I should really learn the layout of these rooms, or just get a lantern. That's so slow. I always like to bring up Celeste as an example of just a really good game in general. Oh yeah, I don't have wall passes in it. Then you can watch the stream. That's totally fair. But hopefully, just because I'm playing a game that you may not be interested, and this applies to everyone. Hopefully, you guys at least like check it out the stream, maybe at least once. I mean, I can't force you to do anything. If you don't want to watch a stream, like you don't have to watch it. I think that's obvious. But like, at least give it a try. Even if the game doesn't seem interesting, hopefully I can try to make it interesting. I think that's kind of my goal with streaming any game that isn't Rain World. Because if you, thank you, Spider. Now I have to go backwards. No, I don't. If I'm streaming a game that isn't Rain World, there's probably a reason for it. In some way that I'm going to try to make the stream interesting, other than just the fact that I'm playing a different game, you know? So I haven't really been doing that. I think actually what I might want to do is, like, if I decide to try to stream a lot of different games, then I'd also want to create the Discord server at the same time, because then I could ask you all directly about like which games you think would be interesting. Somebody doesn't like speedrunning Celeste's limited content, yeah. Like, it's a great game for speedrunning, I think. Personally, the speedruns were a little bit annoying because it's a super long run, but obviously there's like other categories that are probably shorter. And the better you get, the shorter the run gets. Because movement makes a big difference. Was that a centipede that I just saw? Oh my gosh. we're taking the risks. Well, this run is over. I know that if I really wanted to focus on like variety content, if that's what I wanted to do, then there's probably something else that I have to add on top of that, other than doing the same thing that I'm doing, but playing more games, you know? A lot of streamers make like YouTube videos alongside the streams, which I think works pretty well. depending on what the videos are like, but they can be like, oh, that actually works. I did not know that. I thought I was dead, or we were gonna be stuck there forever. Oh boy. But like, you know, even if you could stream a game that that you never played before, and maybe the stream isn't so good, but you can make a video out of it and edit the video to make it good. You know, if it's like really boring, you can just cut out a lot of the uninteresting parts, or you could just be. You can just be funny, and it doesn't matter what you're doing. It's gonna be entertaining anyway. Oh, you were trying to get the chieftain mask. Whoa. That's not Rain World. Snail's house jump scare. No jetfish, partly because I wasn't paying attention. But they're annoying anyway. So you put all that effort into getting into Metropolis only for it to not even work out? You did that all to get the chieftain mask? I think I knew that. The chieftain is like only artificer thing, not just like a part of Metropolis. Because you still are able to access it in like... Or does it work differently? I'm also throwing at the same time. I don't think this is going to be a very good run, even if I finish it. We'll see. No, that wasn't even the problem. The problem is that I just accidentally added a different song to the playlist. And it also randomly decided to pick that one in particular, out of like over 100 songs. Oh, I hope they don't get me here. Please? Did you forget how to swim? Also, welcome to the stream. You thought that the chieftain might still spawn because it was an actual campaign instead of an expedition. I always thought of the jellyfish being like a big bell. And that's kind of like the shape of them. Like they ring the bell when you get near. the mask would spawn. So you can get the mask, but there would just be no chieftain. Oops. Huh. That was a really bad jump. Great movement here. Just like the rest of the run. You actually really want to get a spear here. Because you don't throw spears very far, but they also give you the same throw boost that's throwing rocks does. So you can throw it and then pick it up because it doesn't land very far away from you. Like repeatedly throughout this whole room. I mean, I kind of got lucky with getting several rocks there, but you know, just getting one spear can kind of do the same thing. Moon wants to interact with another life form. Nope, I have a speedrun to do. We'll get to interact later. Did I complete an expedition? Not recently. Never gets old. I think it's actually very old. But it doesn't play too often, so I guess I don't care that much. It's very interesting in these runs, the way that there's so much overlap between different campaigns. Thank you for making me lose time there. Nice reminds. Like this room, you go through this room as rivulets. But you know, before Pebbles has fallen. Actually, you also go through here as Spearmaster, but in the other direction. I guess that's actually the same. No. Rivulet comes in from the left side and then comes back out to go to the right. Spearmaster comes in from Pebbles and then goes straight to the right. Feint comes in from the left and leads to the left. So they're all slightly different routes, plus they all look slightly different because of the different timelines. There's no problems in Spearmasters, there's Rot as Rufus, and then the whole thing is Collapse, and there's Lantern Mice as Sing. Okay, I can never enter this tunnel in the right direction. Oh yeah, I think that room has the shelter that looks really weird, right? That's like partially flooded. There's like a bunch of tunnels they have to go through to get to the shelter. That's like the most complex shelter. I guess next to like the train shelters in Outer Expanse and Metropolis. Or I guess there's one like right outside of Outer Expanse. I'm being trolled. Please, do you want to move ever? See, this is what he does. That was kind of smooth though. Somehow the shelter is at the bottom of the room instead of on the right side where it normally is. I don't know how it got there. Maybe Monk would drown if they tried to do that. I really want to like hold up there so I can grab onto the ceiling and keep going. But if I did, I would grab onto a pole and immediately slow down, so you can't really do that. I'm not even looking at the screen. Is there a way to check the full length of a playlist without just adding up all the video times? Also, I think I've left out a lot more songs than that. Oops. That was kind of a mistake. Just like the rest of the throne. Saints can finally see. Skipping that one song. You know, there's one song in this playlist that I always want to skip. Oh dear. No, that's just a, yeah, that's a mouse. Alright, will you be my shield? Sort of. Just kidding. Why are you like this? I could have dealt with them, by the way. You can activate Ascension in these tunnels, but I didn't think it'd be fast enough. Maybe if I reacted sooner. I kind of was assuming that they would go after the Lantern Mast. Second lizard coming up. Just kidding, it's Mirror's Birds. Look, they're all leaving. Oops. Okay, Spitter Spider is gone. There they are, right on cue. Well, a little bit early, or late. Lizard here? No, they almost got me here last time. I almost totally threw that away. If they weren't incompetent too, I'd be dead there. The problem with Sliver of the Straw, I think, is that it may be completely deconfirmed by developers, but also it was just too early. Because the whole like 7 or Sliver of Straw situation happened way before even Spearmaster's story. Because the timeline is kind of like, you know, Sliver of the Straw had the triple affirmative and then they died. And then everyone, all the other iterators were trying to figure out what happened. And then they split into groups based on what they believe happened with Sliver of Straw, or like how they should go about figuring out what happens, you know? Yeah, they split up into a bunch of different groups. And then Pebbles, being in like some like kind of extremist group, decided to try to figure out a way to die. And maybe who is it? 7 Red Suns? I think it's 7 Red Suns who helped them out with that by giving them the pearl with that like illegal method, illegal whatever. That all that stuff with Pebbles and Moon happened, and the Rot was created, and then Spearmaster shows up, you know, sometime after the Rot's creation. That's the timeline. And so if Saint was created as the triple affirmative, and they were the one who like ascended Sliver of Straw, and thus causing them to die after, like, you know, if that's the theory that you want to go with. I mean, at like the earliest possible time for Saint to be created is like right before Sliver of Straw died, right? So that means that Saint would have to be alive for like as long as all the other Slugcats have been, you know, all the other Slugcats that we play as. Maybe because of the cycle, Saint is essentially immortal. Even if they die of like old age, they just come back anyway. Although all the other Slugcats just seem to have disappeared. Or maybe they just left somewhere else. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what happens to the other Slugcats. Like, it doesn't really make sense how Saint would be able to stay alive for so long. Why do they keep creating all these damn Slugcats? I don't know. They're useful, I guess. I mean, only like a few of them were definitely created by iterators, as in like Hunter and Spearmaster. Arguably, Saint and Rivulet 2. Rivulet is much more likely. Although Saint is also, I feel like, very likely, but there just isn't really any explanation for Saint at all. Like, it's hard to imagine a Slugcat just, like, ending up as Saint by, like, random chance. But it's also, like, you know, there's no evidence for Iterator being involved at all. I guess the idea, if Sliver Straw created Saint, is that they kind of just wandered around from Iterator to Iterator, slowly ascending them one by one, until they finally got to Pebbles. But it seems that Saint is very much trapped in the cycle now, right? Like, Saint will always, like, wake up, ascend, or try to, like, visit the Echoes. Because they don't start with the ability. They have to go visit all the Echoes to get their karma up. And then they go ascend, Pebbles and Moon, and then they go to the depths, and then they wake up again. That's the cycle that Saint is stuck in. So, like, did they just ascend other iterators and not get stuck in a cycle? Is it going to the depths that gets them stuck in a cycle? Moon in advance. Well, you're right on time. Yeah, I just read that message from earlier, but the iterators not being able to communicate at all definitely makes it more plausible. Although, if Saint had ascended any, like, around Spearmaster's time, you know, when Spearmaster was around, when we play as them in the campaign, the communication definitely does work. Like, we literally hear communications between No Steam Harassment and Seven Red Sun. Like, we hear those conversations. We also hear about the rumors from other iterators that are much further away. So communication towers definitely work for Spearmasters. So if Saint was created before then, it's unlikely that they ascended any iterators until the communication network side, because then they would very much be aware of it. Like, hey, did you know about this other iterator who just, like, suddenly died out of nowhere? They would notice that. Although, maybe that all happened and we just didn't hear about it. If Pebbles and Moon just didn't know, because they would be the only reasons we would hear about it at all. Although I guess Pebbles did, like, shut out all communications with them, and then Moon was kind of just unable to communicate at all. So, you know, I guess we wouldn't hear it. That's lovely. I can't wait to die to centipedes. You know, I'm gonna carry these around, because they can actually help out a lot. That was a little close. Okay, that's far enough away for me to be safe. see it dropping. The Saint only ascended Silver Straw and then just dipped. Oh, that's a centipede. Okay. Yeah, we also don't really know how far away Silver Straw is. So maybe you take too long for that message to get out. And I think that around Spearmaster's time, communication is getting less consistent. So some iterators are experimenting with slugcats as an alternate method of communication. I don't know why slugcats specifically, and not like vultures, like a modified version of a vulture. Because they seem like the most obvious option, but you know, I guess they can't like go inside of an iterator structure. They're too big, so they can't actually like get all the way to the end. They'd only be able to get to like iterator structure, but not actually the iterator puppet. Mini vultures. Okay, where's the mod? You get to play as a small vulture. Oh boy. Wow, good aim. Goodness. Yeah, let me just shoot the ceiling. Oh boy. Oh, thank you. Red centipede alerts. Okay, I'm gonna need to pay attention to the game. Yeah, I like that Lion Lizard leaving. Maybe I should have been paying attention to the game the whole time. That would help. Oh gosh, I love jumping on slopes. I don't. Is there a mod that replaces the Saint's Ascension with like duck hunt effects? The same like sound effects and like the screen flash. I'm gonna recharge all the way here. You need as much as you can get for this next room. No red lizards yet, so they're all waiting for me. Oh, was that it? No, that was a... Luckily they're too busy fighting each other. Goodness, that was horrible. Okay, this is even worse somehow. But I'm fast. Just Mirrorless birds and vultures and lizards. I'll take my time. Yeah, just wait out right there, why don't you? I don't see them yet. I see them now. I see all of them, every single one. Okay, well, this will take forever. There's another left, too. What a weird run. What a strange run. Why am I here? How'd I get this far? Huh. I don't know how to feel about that. It'd actually be kind of nice to have splits here, so I can know if that run was actually good. I don't know. So I think this is world record. It is by about a minute. Actually, almost exactly a minute. 2 seconds faster, or a minute and 2 seconds faster. But it was a really bad run, sort of. There were like a lot of weird mistakes. I guess I'll do more runs. It's only been an hour. This was literally the first attempt. Yeah, let's keep going. I hope I can improve that, because that'd be kind of disappointing. There was a death in this run too. A death in filtration. There's so many ways to improve that. I guess it was just decent enough. That wasn't a practice run. I didn't intend it to be a practice run. But, you know, the first run of a day is usually kind of a practice run anyway, because you're like still kind of warming up. Okay, we go again. I guess it's nice to have this. Oh, do the splits work? Hold up. Let's actually try to get the splits to work. Oh, the splits do work. Hold up. I think they just weren't being picked up by OBS. I don't like having them on screen. I guess, you know what, maybe there's less pressure. I've already gotten the run, so I don't need to care too much anymore. So is it on screen? It is. Okay. More of your suspicions were confirmed true. I still don't know what you mean by that. That was world record, yes. That was the point of these attempts. But it was world record. It was a disappointing run. You know, like it could have been like a whole minute faster probably. There were a lot of mistakes and like random slowdowns here and there. Actually, it can be improved by like 2 minutes. Were you guys even... Whoa, that was a lot of snow. Were you guys even watching? Like, you're more focused on the discussion about Saint's tongue or something. I mean, that's fine. If you don't, like, completely pay attention to the stream, if you just want to, like, hang out. I guess I don't mind that. People from the raid a few streams ago have not completed Drain World. Maybe. Can you guys confirm that? Do you actually know what's going on for the Saint? Red split time to restart. Ah. Thought I was practicing. Yeah, I am practicing because I didn't want to. I guess I was making so many mistakes early on. I didn't expect it to be good enough, you know. No timer anywhere. That too. The Rain World speedrunning community is pretty small. If you don't know, I have most of the world records for the Downpour story percent runs. I have the world record for Gourmand, for Artificer, and for Rivulet, and now for Saint, I guess, too. And I was close to getting world record for Spearmaster, too. I don't think that's necessarily because I'm, like, really good at the game, like I'm the best player ever. I mean, you need to be good at the game to get a world record. But I think it's just that there's not enough competition for the world records to be that good. Like, if there was like if the speedrunning community was like 100 times more popular, and there were like a bunch of runners going for like the best possible times ever, I would not be getting world record. There's only like a handful of people who are even trying to go for world record runs at all. Rainbow's kind of falling off, yeah. You know, it's been almost like a full year since Downpour released, and you know that brought in a lot of players and interest in the game again, and it's just kind of been going down slowly since then, which makes sense. Any of you could get world record too, by the way. Just look on speedrun.com for a category that has no runners yet, and you can get a world record just by submitting a run at all. There's probably a few of them left that are pretty easy to get. I mean, if I never ran Gourmand, the world record would still be 3 hours. If you look at the Gourmand story percent leaderboards, there's only 2 runs. My run and another run that is like over 3 hours long. So if you get it like a 2 hour, if you finish Gourmand's campaign in like 2 hours, you would be second place. But you know, subcategories are a little bit less important that people haven't run just because they aren't that interesting. About 5%. Yeah, you can make up any like arbitrary goal and just do it really fast, and if you're the one who's done it, congratulations. That was pretty fast. Thank you for the jump, Geek. You're so consistent. Guardian kill percent. Artificer, I think at the Artificer run, there's actually a really good second place Artificer run that kind of just came out of nowhere. So for Artificer, the world record was like 25 minutes or something. I got a run that was like 23 minutes, but I wasn't happy with it, so I never submitted it. So if I submitted it, I would have had world record in that too. But I knew it could be improved, so I spent like a few weeks just grinding out runs for Artificer until I got a run that was about 19 minutes. 1950 something? Or 1940, I don't know, somewhere around there. And then someone else, like a month later or so, got a run that was like 22 minutes. And it was someone who literally never submitted a speedrun before. Or like, has never been a part of the community. Or maybe they have and I just haven't seen them, but I didn't recognize them at all. And it was like a really good run. That would have been a world record, where it is now second place. So, you know, if you like really want to like focus on a single category and really practice it and try as much as you can totally get a really good time. Dear. People can keep running the same thing over and over. I mean, okay, the most time I've spent on a single, like, run is definitely Spearmaster. You guys have seen, like, most of that, right? Well, I mean, you don't have to. But you've seen that I've done a lot of streams of it. And I feel like compared to some other runners, like there are people who run a single game or a single category within a single game. Like, oh yeah, I run like Celeste 80%, and that's just what I do. And they spend like tens of thousands of attempts on this one category to try to like just optimize this one run as much as possible. That seems kind of ridiculous to me. Also, I like that yeah, the fastest way to get a geek here is literally for one to clip through the floor there, so you can pick it up earlier. So this one's a different voice. I still don't know what's up with this. Why do the geeks sometimes have a different voice? They just sound different. Minecraft speedrunner. Okay, obviously Minecraft is popular to speedrun because it's a popular game. I feel like that's the only reason. Like, in terms of it actually being a good game to speedrun, it's like not great. I mean, it's interesting. It's an interesting game to speedrun, you know, because it's random. I feel like the randomness would just make it kind of awful. Even more so than Rain World. At least Rain World has like some predictable amounts of like randomness. Like, you know, like I know that there's gonna be 2 Spitter Spiders somewhere in this room. I don't know where. There's one. So I know that there's going to be a second Spitter Spider somewhere on the next screen. There it is. Okay, that's predictable. Somewhat, you know. I didn't know where exactly it would be, but now I know. Oh shoot, that's a little dangerous actually. In Minecraft, literally everything is random. Like, everything, like the game is, that's just how the game is, you know. I think there are some seeded categories. You know, the most popular ones I think are the ones where you just like open up the game and you just try to beat it. I actually made that jump. Okay, centipede in this room. Not that kind of centipede. Okay, it's probably in the next room. No, no centipede at all. That's interesting. Whoops. Almost the right song. Any reason I don't have a world record in my video titles? I mean, it's not too hard to go back and just like change an old title. I feel like world record is a really strong statement. It's like, wow, out of everyone in the whole world, you have the best time. That's crazy. And if it's like a Nintendo game, if you have a world record for a Nintendo game, that's crazy, you know. If you have a world record for Rain World, there's like 10 people you're competing against, so I don't think it's a huge deal. Like out of like 10 people who speared in this game and like 5 people who like are interested in this category, I'm the one who spent like 2 more days grinding out attempts. Oh boy. Thank you, Scavenger, for your sacrifice. Ooh, oh no, Scavenger there. Please don't enter this tunnel and just hang out there and don't stab me. He doesn't have a spear. You just had to hit me on the way out. There's another echo, the one at the top of the leg. You can also fall off a cliff there. Okay, no mole lizard in the way this time. Okay, Spitter Spider is probably just hanging out right there. Oh, I shouldn't have left. They're not stunned for very long, so you need to run immediately. Like, he's already chasing me. Okay, this is way easier with the lantern. Also, nice explosion in the distance. I like the name of this song. It's called All That's Left. I feel like it's interesting. Oh. Okay, don't fly too close to the sun. There were 3 spiders in that clump. collective. This is going a little too well, don't you think? The game is just waiting to send like 10 mirror soldiers to my direct location. That was a little not good. Game music hasn't been on in months. I think I had it on for one of the Monk speedrun streams. If I'm trying out a category that I haven't done too much, then I like to have music on for it because it's a whole unique set of songs compared to you know, like for Artificer, it was always just like the same one song that was playing for every single stream. Same for Rivulet, same for Saints Sword. I mean, the Saints is a longer run, so it isn't a big deal. I still think it's nice to have bigger variety of music. Saint with speedrun ascending every iterator every once in a while. I'm a bit bored of going to the depths or going to Rubicon. I guess I'll just go ascend everyone again. Also, I did not need to spin here. I don't know why I did that. Okay, there should be mirror spurs at the end of this room. I expected them to be a bigger problem. Okay, surely there will be a centipede at the end of this room to be annoying. Just waiting for the bad luck. What's going on? Please, make up your mind. There we go. That's more like it. Just gonna spin in circles. What a nice centipede. Making sure that I had something soft to land on. If centipedes are soft. I kind of feel like centipedes look soft. But I guess if you think about it, they wouldn't be. They have like an exoskeleton, right? But like the way the physics work in this game, they look very springy. That actually slowed me down. I didn't throw a rock at that guy. Okay, honestly, the snails haven't been a big problem. They're always in the same spots, it seems. Like, they're always at the top of that underwater tunnel, so you can just, like, swim along the bottom and you're safe. Oh, hello. Welcome to the stream. Uh-oh. I don't know. That was close. That was dangerous. I had to swim boost a bit there to be safe. Yeah, you know, that's a complaint you hear off. It's funny to see like new players play the game, and they're like walking up to a pipe, and then a lizard comes out of the pipe and it kills them, and they're like, "What? I couldn't have done anything about that." Even though you can see the pipe flash like 2 seconds before they even show up. Although it is unfortunate when the pipe is really short and it only flashes for like half a second before they show up and they instantly kill you. Some situations are a lot worse than others, but sometimes it's like super obvious and they just walk straight into a lizard. But to them, it looks like it was unavoidable. That's just kind of game sense. You learn to pay attention to that sort of thing. Because, you know, when you're starting out, you don't know what the pipe flashing means. You don't even, like, realize it at first. Oops, we're going down here. You know, funnily enough, despite speedrunning all the time, there's not many speedrunners to watch these streams. I mean, there's a few, definitely. But usually all the speedrunners are on Twitch instead of YouTube. This is bad movement. The challenge for dying from fall damage depends on a tech. It's not like movement tech, I guess. It's like a fast fall. If you do something on a ledge, you will fall like very quickly, all of a sudden. So you can do that and like slam into the ground, even if there's not enough room to die normally for fall damage. But you still need to look out for like a pretty tall room to do it in. Does it just like work on any ledge? What are these splits? What is this? It's like if you turn around while like climbing up a ledge, then you fall off of it very quickly. Whoops. I mean, if you watch some people play the game, okay, that's not a good way to say it. Some people really don't like wall pounces because they don't know how to use them correctly, and they always end up accidentally wall pouncing, and it just like slows you down, just kind of all the time. Depending on how you play, you might accidentally wall pounce more. Kind of wonder how people use wall pouncing in the earlier versions of the game. Like, did people know about it? Because there's like a bunch of wall pounce tech that you can use even in like Pebbles Percent. Don't really know when movement was like, when it became like a thing that people wanted to like research and really get into. Wall pounces because they're broken. That's fair. They are kind of broken. It doesn't really make sense at all to be able to wall pounce and just like make some of the crazy jumps that you're able to. I guess I kind of see them more as just like a cool like speedrun tech and less of a like intended game mechanic. Like hops too. Like hops are like super broken, but they're not at all intended, I don't think. Instant wall pounces from a thrower OP. I guess that's usually where the big problems are, like the dragon jump uses a throw boost. All the like the jump that you do in shimmy to like skip using a spear, that's a throw boost. Yeah, I guess that's usually the case because like initiating a wall pounce from a regular pounce is usually much more reasonable. Is that a different troll lizard? That was like a dark blue color. Yeah, I think that was a different blue lizard. There's quite a lot of them in Silent Construct. Riv wall pounces. Riv is also very powerful, but Riv in general is just kind of overpowered. So I don't think wall pounces are any more broken than like their backflip or their slide pounce, you know. It has the least flashy movement. It's a lot more flashy if you know how difficult it is. Like there's a lot of like extra little things that you don't really notice from the beginning that can make you just like a bit faster. Like EA hops are like multiple like close to frame perfect inputs, but I mean, you wouldn't know that just from looking at it. And you also don't actually move that fast. I mean, yeah, hops are pretty fast, but most movement in the game isn't actually that fast compared to like Celeste, where you can like cross screens in like a few seconds. It's also like really easy to make mistakes in Rain World. You can watch like a Celeste speedrunner, and they will like never make a mistake ever. And it's like, wow, this is like a robot. I'm watching like a robot play this game. And you see like a Rain World speedrunner, and they like trip and fall, and they like struggle to fight a lizard, and it's like, wow, are they actually good at the game? Climbing any flat vertical wall with wall bounces is a bit OP. I feel like that's so impractical though. Like, how many like perfectly flat walls do you find that you can also do a whiplash next to, and that also don't have like some sort of ledge on the top that prevents you from getting over it? Well, second place Survivor world record, the Pebble percent run with all the AI hops. Yeah, that run is really good. Gets a few spears. Something happened over there. At least single slide pounce. Slide pounces are really difficult. Oh gosh. They still don't have them. There you go. Get long enough. The lizard the whole time was thinking, should I give up on this lantern mouse and go for the saint instead? That's what they were thinking. I still mess up slide pounces like quite often. It's just that there's also so much randomness. Okay, this is kind of horrible. There's so much randomness in Rain World that like a few small mistakes don't matter as much as a whole encounter with a lizard. Because a lizard or like a vulture in a bad spot can lose way more time than it's a small mistake. And so like you're most likely to see runs that are lucky than runs that are like super clean, but of course the movement does help too. And it kind of makes the run look like easier than it actually is. Like, oh, there were no creatures at all. This didn't even look that difficult. Which, of course, you see the world record run. You don't see the hundreds of attempts where they died with lizard in that one spot. Sometimes you even see death in top runs, maybe in like 100% runs or something. I mean, there was a death in the run that I just got for Saint. That was world record, and there was a death in it, which is what I'm trying to fix right now. Yeah, that was what I wanted you to do. I don't know what combination of keys that I pressed, but it was absolutely the wrong one. Yeah, if you're familiar with the routes, then you know how lucky a run like that can be. Like, this run has been pretty lucky so far. There's a lot of creatures that I've been expecting to see, and they just haven't shown up. You kind of learn where to expect creatures to show up. Like, I expect the Mirror Spirit might show up in the next, or Mirror Vulture might show up in the next room. I wouldn't be surprised. You're a funny game. Oh, you're really funny. You're hilarious, even. Thank you for that. This game. Yeah, it did hear me. It was waiting. Okay, can we say that, like, you know, we got all the Mirror Vulture spawns out of the way, and we're never gonna see them again? Yeah, buy none, get 4 free. What a deal. Oh, yeah. That's why I go over the jellyfish. That was a fast fall right there. Yeah, if you're like flying at the top of the screen, there is a small chance on every frame that you just die instantly. They're sticking to the theme. please. Moon always press to dodge. Just the left side lizards wandering around. Alright, where's the mod? I mean, I think the other speedrunners should know what it's like. Ran into that guy. How risky is this? Wow. They got me. Good job. Surely he will stay over on that side of the platform. I guess I keep. I mean, sure, I'll keep going. He looked like he was gonna stay on that little bit further to the left there. But then he moved right as I fell down. I guess he had good reaction time. Yeah, I will be doing it again. That's unfortunate. That was a really good run. Oh, yeah. That might have been like the best pace I've ever been on, actually. Like there wasn't really any problems with that. Other than, you know, a few creatures, a few large creatures flying around. That's too much lost time. Way too much. Like that's like 2-3 minutes maybe. It's still gonna say that I saved time because my previous Rubicon split is really bad. Actually, no, I don't think it is. It's probably just gonna say that I lost a bunch of time. The only reason I took a death in the previous round was because it only lost like 10 seconds. I was literally right next to the shelter. This is like 2 regions that I have to cross again because of that death. This is why I entered this room like this. I do like these rooms in terms of movements. It's fun to just like swing across like this, but it's not fun to deal with the Mirror's birds. They're actually pretty good at grabbing you when you're like in the middle of swinging around. They get you really quickly. So it's very stressful. I've died to Mirror's birds here before. Oh, that's fun. You'd rather be a centipede or a green lizard? Like in game? Just a regular spider. That's not a regular centipede. This would also be unfortunate. Yeah, about 2.5 minutes. Add on some from the red centipede. Oh, slug pups go to hell. They're right there, aren't they? Just waiting. I think that would have been the end of the run. How long did that take? Like 30 seconds? there are 3 red lizards here, plus a cyan and a red centipede and a spitter spider. I should probably just fly into this one. That's cool. That's not cool. I disagree. Oh, that's nice. What was that? Yeah, Saints Peak campaign is pretty cool. You get to explore a lot more areas than what you see in the speedrun. Because I don't actually go to most areas. Plus, you get to see the ending. I mean, I see like most of the ending already, but I do put out earlier. You can read the echo dialogue. That was a mistake. You know, it's easy to think like, oh, what would this run look like without that death in Subterranean? But I feel like it would have ended up completely different anyway. You can't just say that it would have been exactly the same minus the death, right? I mean, obviously, like a death resets a bunch of stuff, like the creatures spawn in different locations. Do you grab onto me? Wow, you did. Okay, I guess we're not finishing that. Whoops. Shoot. Hold up. Yeah, I did not expect them to attack that quickly. I'm gonna do that. Because that last split was way too early. New world record, yippee. They only saw me a bit in the earlier room. I thought the timer would have reset or something. I mean, even if it didn't reset, that felt like too short anyway. Well, I have enough time for one more run. if it goes like the previous runs, I should be able to make it to the end, right? At least the subterranean. If I get the same luck. No, not this time. I like to think about chaos often. A lot of people have like regrets about stuff in their life. It's kind of in general. Like, oh, what if I had done this instead? Or, you know, that's the main idea. Like, you wish you would have done something else instead of what you actually did do. But if you did something else, everything else in the future would have been completely different because of chaos. A slight. I mean, you could take this two ways. Either your actions have a big influence on the future that is unpredictable, or everything is chaotic and even the slightest difference means a completely different outcome in the end. So whenever someone is like, oh, I wish I hadn't done this, or I wish I had, you know, done this when I had the opportunity, you don't know what would have happened in the future. It's not like the exact same events would have happened, but that one event is different. No, everything would be different. After dying to the mole lizard in Subterranean, everything that happened after that point was completely different. Mostly because dying like resets a bunch of stuff and it's all random again. So there was the encounter with the red centipede infiltration. There were the red lizards at sort of Rubicon, and then eventually that what's this? Okay, you know what? I'm making a lot of mistakes. You know, I don't know what would have happened if I avoided that mole lizard. There could have been another red. The red centipede could have still been there. They might not have been. You know, I don't know what would have happened. That was a whole different set of events. Nice flip, dude. I mean, humans like to fight back against chaos. If you schedule something, I'm going to do this thing on this day, that thing is much more likely, you know, much more likely than completely random. So it doesn't matter what you do before that date, that thing is still probably going to happen, right? You know, of course, a bunch of completely unpredictable things could happen that prevent you from carrying out those plans as expected. That's pretty normal. It's not the world record, but the Miras vultures we met along the way. I didn't even pick up anything. Monks ain't true. Ah. Saint in the future. Yeah, why is this song playing? Okay, this is a little bit slow. I don't care too much about small time losses now. I know that there's like a if I can save like a minute by the end of the run, then I'm good with that. I know that's probably possible. I mean, that other run was ahead by a minute, but I don't know what the stat split was comparing against. I didn't use splits on that other run that actually made it to the end. Nice. Oh, another vulture. A normal vulture. The only time you ever see a regular vulture in this run. Maybe. I think so. Are there ever other vultures? I don't think so, because we never see any in farm raid. Well, actually, I think, yeah, there's maybe a vulture in farm raids when you get the geek. But once you get into the Wormgrass area, there's no longer vultures there. And then it's just like Miras vultures past Subterranean. Would that be nice though? Just replacing even just a handful of Miras vultures with just regular vultures. I think we would all appreciate that, even if you're not speedrunning. Please don't run. Oh, he's gonna have a centipede to eat over here. I don't see why there couldn't be normal vultures. If a vulture can live in the Sky Islands in the snow, why not Shoreline? I mean, I don't even know why the Miras birds come back, because there's Miras birds for like Spearmaster and Artificer, or Miras vultures. Right, they're kind of uncommon, but they exist. Somehow that worked. And then they disappear for the rest of the game until Saint, and then suddenly they come back. I said that's only a small centipede. I wonder if you could reach that. If you timed a jump really well. Best version of a Rain World OC. I mean, I think the reason the Mirror's Vulture exists is because one of the developers that was working on the original More Slugcats mod was like, I wonder if I can combine these two creatures together, and then they did, and Mirror's Vultures were the result. Like, the devs didn't really know how to create creatures of their own, so they just, like, took two creatures that were already in the game and just combined aspects of them together, and that was what was created. I feel like it might take too long to, like, try to get up to the ceiling. There's not much flat ground just to jump off of. Apparently that was a gold split. Oops, going too far. Dude. No, okay, this is really annoying. I'm pretty sure the same person who made the Mirror's Vulture also made the Pain Cat campaign, so wouldn't be too surprised. You shouldn't be too surprised. It's a little bit more surprising that Mirror's Vultures are so common in some parts of the game. I mean, it also makes more sense if you think of Saint as like the ultimate challenge of Rain World. The first custom creature. Yeah, I think I saw the Mirror's Vulture. Oh boy, this is best case scenario. Okay, I think I'm dead. I remember seeing a Mirror's Vulture in some old mod, I think. I'm losing time now because of popcorn RNG. don't know how to do an E-slide anymore with that plant. Oh gosh. I think on the on like a Rain World interactive map, just search that up. On the interactive map, you can see dens where creatures spawn and also which creatures they lineage into. I don't think Vulture's lineage. I don't think that would make sense because they're not even like in a den. Usually the lineage has to do with the den that the creature spawns in. Like, oh, a green lizard spawns in this den, and then if you kill it, it might lineage into a white lizard or something. That's better. I think wolf spiders can lineage. Wolf spiders can actually lineage to lizards. I know of at least one den in Subterranean where a wolf spider lineages into a red spider. Or red lizard. You know, there's a DLL in Shoreline for like Hunter, I think. I don't know, one of the earlier campaigns. And it has a very, very small chance of eventually lineaging into a Brother Longlegs. Because that's what eventually happens in the timeline. The DLL is going to decay into BLLs. So technically, if you spend enough time, it's like several 1% chances in a row. But, you know, if you spend enough time on a save file, that might eventually happen. A DLL in Shoreline eventually lineages into a BLL. With a very low chance. Ow. Hello. Welcome. That was 4 creatures all at once. Okay, I should probably just stop going for that backflip because it never works out. Oh, I actually turned around backwards doing that. Okay, I think the creatures that tend to lineage are lizards, spiders, centipede. Do centipedes lineage? Centipedes are really strange in general in terms of spawns. Whole plants can lineage. DLLs and BLLs can lineage. Am I missing something? Centipedes do lineage? Okay. Most of the time, it's just lizards and spiders. Like, those are the most common ones that you actually see in lineage. I can try to do this here. I think it might take too long to actually build up speed, and you can only do it for like half of the room. Whereas when you're doing it the other way around, you can keep it going for quite a while. Yeah, quite a while. Like past the worm grass a little bit. Working on food? Wait, you mean like implementing a food mechanic where you have to eat shelter? I feel like that actually be pretty easy. Well, at least from what I've learned about like triggers. You can have a count or an item. What is it called? I forget the name of the trigger, but you have food items that you can eat right just by interacting with them. That would like increase the counter. But past a certain point, you can no longer increase it. So you would have a check for like if this counter is too high. That's pretty simple. Like to allow you to even eat food. And when you shelter, just check if you have enough food. Then like if you do, then save a checkpoint and then get rid of that amount of food. I lost time there for some reason. I guess because of all the lizards and centipedes that showed up when trying to get the geek. Oh, hello. You have to make all the AI and procedural animations. I don't think you need to go that far. I feel like you'd have to either really simplify creatures by basically having them just follow a very like simple predefined path, and if you touch them you die, or you just get rid of creatures entirely. Oops, this is the wrong way. And like procedural animations is like a completely different thing. That'd probably just be too laggy, even if you could make it. Oh boy. Actually, there's only one spider down here. The other ones are leaving. I feel like it'd be cool without creatures anyway. Just to have like the area to explore. Taking a bath. Nice. GG. For what? You gotta add the rain. Right? Just have a timer. You can probably use particle effects to make rain. Although I don't know if you can make it like as intense as it is in Rain World. The way that it kind of like warps the screen. I mean, there's shaders too, so maybe that could be useful. Have like motion blur that moves vertically with the rain. Rooms that flood might be more difficult. Actually, they would be a lot more difficult because you could kind of just apply the same like rain effects to every single outdoors room, but then flooding requires you to set up like the flooding effect in every single room. Well, maybe you can kind of do the same thing. That was pretty good. I mean, I've seen a few levels that have water. They're basically just like, if you enter the water, you become the ship, so you can just like fly around. Can't really just use the ship for that? Okay, never mind. I really like that new strategy for the spitter spider. Just throwing a rock at it. It usually lets you get through. Totally fine. Um, didn't mean to do that. I thought I was holding a fruit for some reason. Yeah, it's weird because like the surface of the water behaves differently, the way you can kind of float on top of it. So you would need like different physics for like normal movement when you leave the water. Physics for being at the top of the water and then being under the water where you can swim around freely. But also, it'd be kind of hard to like enter. If you floated on the top of the water, it'd be hard to enter the water because there's no down input in GD. So you'd have to default to floating or to sinking whenever you enter the water. You don't really have control over it. Or maybe it can be like you need to be moving at a certain speed to enter the water, but if you don't enter fast enough, you just float on the top. You can probably do that with force blocks. Is it black orb? I mean, ideally you'd want to have the jump in, but for jumping out of the water, right? Refuse to believe Saint exists. Why? Welcome to the stream. This is really slow. Why am I 20 seconds behind? What did I do? I mean, how much water is there that you need to like swim into? There's like drainage system. I guess you could make it situational, like if it's water that you just float along the surface of, you can just make it so that it makes you float by default. But if you need to like actually go into it and swim through, like in a drainage, then you could just make it so that you don't float on top. No, I guess I'll go around. Although that would be kind of strange if water like had different behavior depending on where you were. I think the idea is just, it's not to recreate Rain World in GD. That's impossible. The idea is to just recreate the map so that it's like, you can move around and explore. Just with like geometry dash controls. Oh. I like how the scavenger drops that at him. It popped out of his hand when he died. Some of the game features like the rain and having to eat food and sheltering, I imagine. Like anything related to creatures would be way too difficult to implement effectively without just like simplifying them a lot. Yeah, I'm not able to build up any speed here. How cool the background art is. It is cool. It's also very cold. Haha. I feel like we're gonna see a lot of really interesting levels that are basically just like recreations of other games. We're gonna see them be more common when there's like custom key rebinds. Because there's 6 keys that you can use in 2-player platformer mode. So basically left, right, and jump for two players. And by default, they're on WASD and the arrow keys. I mean, you don't use the S button or the down arrow. But if you want to move like in like 4 directions, which is, you know, very simple, like top-down game movement, you'd have to use like 1 key from the other side of the keyboard, which would be really awkward. So ideally, you know, with controller or control rebinds, you could just like set the down arrow to be one of the other keys or whatever works with the level. Calamity type boss fight, that's a really funny level. If you're referring to the one that's the, was it Astrum Deus? I believe that's the boss. The level is rated as an insane demon. I beat it on my like 11th attempt. By far the easiest insane demon in the game, depending on how familiar you are with Terraria. It was super easy. No. Is there another Calamity type boss fight? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the difficulty rating of a lot of platformer levels is totally incorrect. Maybe not incorrect, but like, it's all over the place, you know. Oh, that level? I really don't like that level. Or any levels that are slightly similar to it. Am I the only one? Because everyone seems to love those levels. Even though they seem kind of awful and I kind of want to stay away from it. Yeah, Forsaken City, that was really easy. I mean, like, even if they are, like, difficult, sort of. Yeah, sometimes the platforming can be difficult, but there's so many checkpoints that it's, like, it's not too awful. Like, they were funny for, like, I think they were funny for, like, 10 seconds. Where it's like, ah, that's funny. You can, like, stretch out the faces to like, fill the whole screen. That's funny. And then that was the end of that, you know. But it kept going. It kept going for a long time. Like a regular, like an easy demon in GD is actually like quite difficult still. Because you need to be able to do the whole thing without dying. That's just how normal Geometry Dash levels are. So it's gonna be like a minute or more of like decently difficult gameplay. I mean, usually it isn't too bad. But sight reading the whole thing is like almost impossible. I mean, maybe if you're like really good at the game, you can sight read easy demons. But usually they still require like a decent amount of practice. Meanwhile, like the platformer level easy demons are like basically free because you just get so many checkpoints. Ah, I shouldn't have jumped there. That was a bad backflip. I don't know, you could probably just search for Platformer Insane Demons. You should be able to find it. It's like Astral Infection or something. That's the name of the song. Or the biome. Astral or something. I don't know. It might actually not be an Insane Demon. It could have gone down to a hard demon. I haven't checked. Have I played Noida? I'm familiar with Noida. I haven't played it myself though. Funnily enough, actually, Rain World isn't really a good representation of the kind of games that I like. Other than the fact that it's like a 2D platformer. I usually like games that pretty much only have good gameplay. I mean, other stuff helps, obviously. But gameplay is usually like the biggest priority in terms of like how much I like it. Like Spelunky 2, I think is a good example. I really like Spelunky 2, and it's basically exclusively gameplay. Terraria is another decent example. I usually like, I mean, I guess Rain World is also mostly just gameplay. Like there's no story in terms of like cutscenes or dialogue and such. Like there's occasionally dialogue with iterators, but that's not a big part of the game. The story is like almost entirely hidden away. You have to go like looking for, which I didn't do. I just looked up like a YouTube video about it. Oh, thank you. But Rain World does a lot with its gameplay. It has more of like a environmental storytelling approach, you know. The story is exploring the world and discovering what it is about. You know? Any game that's like mostly like cinematic or like very like story focused, where there's like a lot of dialogue or a lot of like cutscenes, not usually a fan of that. Oh, Lizard being nice. I mean, I guess he already trolled me earlier, just a little bit. Okay, I didn't do that very well. I should have just like swung immediately instead of jumping more. I don't know why I did that. I play Spelunky HD. I don't have Spelunky HD, and I don't think I'm going to play it. Like, I did play Spelunky 2 a little bit here. But I feel like Spelunky 2 already gave me a good idea of what the games are like. And I know there's a lot of differences. Like, Saint's Tongue is kind of overpowered, do you think? I think it's like the most overpowered movement ability in the game. Like, being able to just do this. Like, pretty good, pretty effective. Yeah, Saint has the best movement and the worst combat. Okay, it's like a trend in this run where I keep getting gold splits, but I'm still behind. Okay, what is this? Hardest for being deadlocked to an insane demon. Do you think you're able to beat that that boss fight? Plus, you know, you can also do this. Which, I mean, doesn't have anything to do with the grapple, but it's just something else Saint can do. It's not too hard. See, that's like exactly what I'm talking about. If you go from beating... I mean, I guess the main thing is that it's just a different skill set, you know. Most Geometry Dash, like normal Geometry Dash levels, are roughly the same kind of skills that you use. And then some of them might be like different game modes, or like more timing or memory focused. But some platform levels are just like completely different games, with like a whole new skill set. And so if a bunch of Geometry Dash players are playing this boss fight and they haven't fought like bosses, like Terraria bosses before, then it's going to be difficult. It's strange, like, how do you rank puzzle levels? Like, let's say that there was a level with like a series of like extremely difficult puzzles. Like, they're all like really complicated systems and there's like several puzzles in a row they have to do. Would that be a hard level? Like, what if you have infinite time and there's no like chance of dying or resetting the level? Would that make the level easy? If you actually want to like sit down and solve the puzzle, it might take like several hours. Just like a hard demon might, you know, or maybe like a medium demon, I don't know. It could take you maybe like several days to try to like solve all these puzzles, but you could also just search up a solution and beat it in like a few minutes, you know? How do you rank the difficulty of that at all? Procedural puzzles. Oh, that's a good idea. It's random every time, so you can't just take the solution from someone else. That sounds kind of complicated though, especially if the puzzle is already trying to be difficult. If you're saying procedural puzzles already are a thing, then I assume someone else has figured out those problems though. Like if iframes, yeah, the way you deal with that is just don't ever touch the worm. Don't ever touch it. That's the main priority. You can like touch the lasers as much as you want. They actually don't do too much damage. Lasers aren't the threat. Touching the worm is the threat. As long as you can avoid that, you're probably safe. And also as long as you can consistently deal damage. Yeah, it's probably pretty obvious. Whoops. Why'd I do that? I found that the easiest strategy was to basically circle around the arena in big movements. Whoops, I need that. Basically just constantly be moving in a really big circle. That way it actually splits up the two worms and the second phase. Or it doesn't split them up, it makes it like more easier to, it makes it easier to avoid them. Can you not? Because you can really easily run out of space when if you don't like move around too much. They can kind of like group up around you and you just like take a lot of damage from that. Game doesn't feel like being funny right now. I guess this previous run that I'm comparing against was also very good. Maybe that run had like a death in Rubicon. Was that run? No, 4 mirrors. In fact, actually seeing 4 mirrors vultures is actually quite uncommon. Oh, he heard me. What are you saying? We're uncommon? I like the sound that makes. Leviathan is very hungry. See, that's what you can do if the gravity is normal when you enter that room. Like the jellyfish chunks look pretty tasty. Sure. That was interesting. That kind of looked like a swim boost and be such at the same time. That was like really fast. Oh, hello again. Welcome back. I mean, how all these pipes made for slug sized creatures. Yeah, the world is surprisingly functional. Like, Pebbles has completely collapsed, but all the gates and shelters and pipes are still working just fine. I mean, who knows how the pipes actually work? You just enter one end and you just somehow end up at the other. Multiple creatures can go through a pipe at the same time and not, like, get clogged. Gonna be careful. Whoops. Please go down. Oh dear. Okay, I feel like that was an opportunity and then I waited a little bit too long. Wow, that was just actually a gunshot. That was just a waste of time. I think it's funny how seamlessly the pipes are a part of the world. Like, I don't even, like, players very rarely talk about the pipes because they're just like normal, you know? They're like just as normal as like all the other parts of the environment that you can navigate around, like the poles, the floor. Oh, he doesn't care? Oh, that was really close. Like, surely he will be really scared of this cherry bomb because they're sensitive to sound, but I guess he just does not care, or maybe he was running away from it. That was way too risky. I thought it's strange enough to have floating red bubbles in Celeste. Yeah, it is awfully convenient that this like ancient temple full of like monsters and spikes also has bubbles perfectly placed for you to navigate it. Okay, time for this again. Pipes seem too tiny for them to be for the ancients. I mean, green lizards can fit through pipes too regularly, so it's not like. I mean, like scavengers. I feel like our ancients could probably be scavenger sized, and scavengers can use pipes just fine. Nice lag spike. Do that the slowest way possible, why not? Let's not jump into the lava. I mean, the elevators could be for, like, a lot of people at once. That is where the cities are supposed to be, right? So maybe... I mean, I guess normal human elevators aren't that large. They can only fit, like, 10 people if you cram them together. Yeah, I feel like the iterators are like a decent scale. Because it'd be strange to make like the body of a massive supercomputer like way smaller than you. Like they'd either be a lot larger or like roughly the same size. Maybe. Okay, I don't like this. I never liked this room. No, I've got time. Oh, that's an egg bug. Oh no. Oh gosh, fire bug. And then the guardian. Okay, there's always something. Well, I think that's the end of that. I thought that thing in front of the pipe would like be more dangerous. I should have just gone immediately. And then the moment I realized what was happening, I tried to leave, and then the guardian stopped me. Insane strat. Thank you. Alright, that's the end of that. Those were really good runs, though. I'm not really happy with the fact that the run that I actually finished was, like, the worst one out of all of them. Like, I think I just got lucky in Rubicon with that run. How many runs did I do in total? Like 3? No, like 5. I feel like in a lot of other attempts at this category, I've died a lot more often before, like early on in the run. Like I expected more deaths to like the spiders in Farm Raise or to like Subterranean in the beginning of the run. Yeah, like the average run made it to like subterranean after moon. I don't know what to call it because you're in subterranean in 2 points of the run. There's like the first subterranean and then the second subterranean. I guess, okay, at the very least, I got world record, even if I'm not very happy with it. But honestly, this run has been pretty fun. Like, I expected more deaths. I mean, okay, it is annoying that, like, most deaths have been at the very end of the run. Either to orange lizards or to red lizards, usually red lizards. Or, in, like, filtration at the very end there. So maybe I'll wait a bit on Saint. You know what I'm doing next? We're going back to Spearmaster. I think I'll do that tomorrow. It's just Spearmaster left now. How dare the devs put the hardest part at the end? There are two types of people. It makes sense that Rubicon is the hardest part, but I think some rooms are a little bit ridiculous. Like in the area that I just died in, there are 4 rooms in total, and 2 red lizards. So there's like a 50-50 chance that you run into a red lizard in a very small room. And red lizard's kind of like hard counter Saint, because you can't ascend them while they're spitting at you, and they move very fast on the ground. So like if you try to fly away, they'll spit at you, and you can't descend them. If you're on the ground, they will outrun you. And there's 2 red lizards in those, like, 4 very small rooms. And one of those rooms has the guardian where you need to stand still and ascend it several times. So it sucks if the red lizard is in there with you. Anyway, that'll be the end of the stream. Those are really good runs, though. I think I will want to return to Saint in the future. If I think that'll be one of the runs that I actually want to try to optimize. So I'll probably come back to Saint eventually. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. See ya.